Arjun chose Krishna, and that made the entire difference. So purpose should always be there in your mind. हनुमान जी का पर्पस सुरसा से लड़ना नहीं है. हनुमान जी का पर्पस सीता जी का पथ लगाना है. Leader is one who lead self first. Keep your eye down and keep your purpose clear.
Meet Manish Chaturvedi, a chartered accountant, corporate leader, and the brilliant mind behind the book Yogi at Corporate Street.
People worship Lord Rama and people worship Lord Krishna as well. In these two leadership approaches, which one would you recommend and why?
To become Ram, you need to be Krishna first. Totally ethical. So he is like, आपको जो भी करना है करो, मैं वही करूँगा जो ठीक है. On the other hand, Krishna is like कि मेरा purpose ethical है, and if you are not ethical, I can bend rules in such a way that I reach to my purpose.
Lord Krishna could stop the war, and yet he did not stop the war.
So if you're looking forward to get a signed copy of the book Yogi with Continuous Diminishing I at Corporate Street, Ancient Wisdom for Modern Leaders, When Past Illuminates, Future Elevates. If you're looking forward to the signed copy of this book by the author himself, take a moment to do three things. One, subscribe to the YouTube channel and follow us on Spotify as well as Apple Podcast. And share it with someone you believe would get benefited. I'm sure you know one of your friends who would get benefited from this conversation, don't you? And the third one is do comment in the comment box. And I promise to share these 5 copies signed by the author himself to 5 lucky people. I'm sure you would want to take a chance for sure. I can't be more excited than this, Manish Saab. Thank you so much for being on this show, the xMonks Drive. Such a pleasure having you here.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
The other day I was talking to somebody, मैंने कहा मेरा एक दोस्त है, उसने एक book लिखी है. So he said, कौन सी book लिखी है? Where does he work? So I told him that he works with so and so organization. Book लिखी है Yogi at Corporate Street. I said, wow, that's a very interesting topic to write about. I said, of course, उनकी journey भी वैसी रही है. You are a chartered accountant, right? And you have played different roles in a couple of different companies that you have worked with.
Yeah.
And you are writing on the wisdom from the ancient texts.
Yeah.
When did you realize your affinity, your love for Mahabharata, be it Ramayana, be it Chaitanya, be it any other scriptures and Vedas and Upanishads that you have read?
Okay, so when I reflect back, I would say since my early childhood, I was completely drawn to scriptures and moral stories. And it could perhaps be attributed to the upbringing or the way I was raised at that point in time, both at family level or at school also. I would say that at school level, my morning assembly would start from a moral story. Yeah. So very early imbibing of value system, and back home, both my parents were leading the speech. So from home parents' perspective, they were leading. Basically, they were leading life like a true yogi. Yeah. So whatever we learned from Bhagavad Gita, which is karma, jnana, and bhakti.
Karma, jnana and bhakti.
So karma is performing your duty, jnana is continuously attaining knowledge, and bhakti is not to a particular person, but bhakti is to your devotion to your purpose. Yeah. So karma, jnana and bhakti. And to give you an example, if I were to look at my mom, so she was completely devoted to Shri Hanumanji, Bhagwan Hanumanji. Yeah, so she will look at Hanumanji from the lens of devotion. So Hanumanji was totally devoted to his purpose, and that led to his success. Wherein my father would look at Hanumanji from the lens of karma. So for example, he was totally devoted to his karma. He was leading with clarity. He was leading with courage. He was leading with complete devotion to the purpose. So this was the difference between.
So that's the world that you grew up in.
Yeah.
And I'm not surprised that you came up with this beautiful book called The Yogi at Corporate Street, Ancient Wisdom for the Modern Leaders, When Past Illuminates, Future Elevates. मनीष साहब, जब मैं इस बुक से जा रहा था, द वेरी फर्स्ट चैप्टर यू रोट समथिंग व्हाट इट मीन्स टू बी अ ह्यूमन, और एक बहुत ही अच्छी सी एक बात लिखी है आपने इसमें लिखा है, दादी मुझे इंसान बना दो, मेक मी ह्यूमन.
Yeah.
Tell me about this story. What does it mean to be a human?
So, Gaurav, this is, I guess, first story in my childhood I read. So, this is a story about a grandmother and his grandson. So, grandmother is very old and both live somewhere on the top of a hill. And every day, the grandmother comes down for daily necessity and then go back. अब ये बच्चा जो है वो रोज बोलता है दादी को कि दादी आप थक गए होगे, मैं चला जाता हूँ. हाँ, आप कब तक जाते रहोगे? एंड दादी इज सो केयरिंग दैट शी वुड नॉट अलाउ हिम टू गो डाउन. बट ओवर द पीरियड दादी भी एज हो गई है, शी इज़ अनेबल टू गो डाउन. तो वन फाइन डे व्हाट शी डज, शी आस्क्ड हिम, बेटा आज तुम चले जाओ नीचे. एंड दिस चाइल्ड इज़ वेरी वेरी हैप्पी. एंड देन व्हेन ही वाज गोइंग डाउन, दादी सेड कि रुको, ये चश्मा ले जाओ मेरी तरफ से. तो इस चश्मे को पहन के ही आप शॉपिंग करना, और जिस भी शॉप पे इफ़ यू फाइंड एनी ह्यूमन बीइंग, उसी से लेना, किसी और से यू आर नॉट सपोज टू बाय एनीथिंग. एंड दिस गाय वाज लाइक कि दादी एज के संग संग शी इज़ गेटिंग इनसेन ऑल्सो. शॉपकीपर तो ह्यूमन ही होते हैं एंड सो ऑन सो फोर्थ. बट ठीक है, दादी ने बोला है तो चल दिया. नीचे गया तो he saw, first time he saw market. The market was such a nice, beautiful, bright market. Lot of shops over there and so much stuff. And suddenly he realized कि मैं दादी का चश्मा तो पहना नहीं. तो the moment he put दादी का चश्मा on his eyes, so there was the complete change. किसी भी दुकान पे उसको कोई मनुष्य नहीं दिख रहा है. कहीं कोई भेड़िया बैठा है, कहीं कोई जगाल बैठा है, कहीं कोई शेर बैठा है, एंड सो ऑन सो ऑल एनिमल्स वर देयर. ही वाज कम्प्लीटली स्केयर्ड. एंड देन कुछ देर तक उसने मार्केट देखा तो उसको एक शॉप मिली जहाँ कोई ह्यूमन बीइंग बैठ के सामान बेच रहा था.
एक इंसान मिल गया,
एक मिल गया. उसने उससे अपनी नेसेसिटीज़ खरीदी एंड द स्टफ वाज गुड, प्राइस वाज आल्सो रीजनेबल. ही केम बैक. द मोमेंट ही केम बैक, ही थॉट कि मैं भी तो देखूँ मैं क्या लगता हूँ. सो द मोमेंट ही पुट द चश्मा ऑन हिज आईज एंड मिरर में देखा तो उसको वहाँ पे एक चूहा दिख रहा है. चूहा दिखाई दिया. सो स्टोरी वहाँ पे ऐसे एंड होती है कि वो दादी के पास जाता है, उसको हक कर लेता है. ही इज़ क्राइंग एंड क्राइंग एंड क्राइंग एंड टेलिंग दादी मुझे मनुष्य बना दो, मैं मनुष्य नहीं दिख रहा वहाँ पे. सो दादी उसको बोलती है कि देखो बेटा, मनुष्य बनने के द ओनली थिंग, शरीर इज़ नॉट नेसेसरी कि मनुष्य का शरीर ही हो आपके पास. इट नीड्स समथिंग मोर, इट नीड्स करेक्टर, इट नीड्स कॉम्पिटेंस. या तो ऐसे करके स्टोरी बन जाती थी. सो ओवर द पीरियड आई ऑल्सो रेड अबाउट ट्रस्ट मैट्रिक्स व्हेन आई जॉइन प्रोफेशनल लाइफ. सो ट्रस्ट इज़ अ फैक्टर ऑफ करेक्टर एंड कॉम्पिटेंस. तो करेक्टर इज़ योर इंटेंट, योर इंटेग्रिटी. कॉम्पिटेंस इज़ योर द वे यू अचीव what you perform, you're driving results. And over the period, in almost 25 years of my experience, what I've realized, and there is another story related to this piece, in corporate life, generally what happens, कि people start thinking that it's a zero-sum game. अगर मेरे को grow करना है तो somebody should come down. That is not a reality. तो अकबर बीरबल की एक स्टोरी है इसके अंदर. एक आपको किसी लाइन छोटी करने के लिए अपनी बड़ी करनी होती है. इट्स नॉट दैट कि आपको सामने वाले की लाइन रब करनी है. सो अपनी लाइन बड़ी करो, सामने वाले की छोटी करने की कोशिश.
यू नो, दिस इज सो इंटरेस्टिंग. कुछ दिन पहले आई वाज इंटरव्यूइंग समबडी एल्स एंड आई आस्क्ड दिस जेंटलमैन, आपके हिसाब से ऐसा वो कौन सा ट्रेट है जो अंडररेटेड है इन द कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड, और ऐसा कौन सा ट्रेट है जो ओवररेटेड है. I was not surprised with the answer that he gave me. उन सज्जन पुरुष ने मुझे क्या कहा कि साहब जो मोस्ट ओवररेटेड ट्रेट है वो है कॉलिंग समबडी अ लीडर. मैंने कहा आप साहब ऐसा क्यों कर रहे हो? कहता है किसी भी कंपनी में चल जाओ, किसी एक बंदे को लीडर कह दो, सडनली यू विल रियलाइज कि उसकी छाती बाहर आ जाएगी और चौड़े में घूम रहा होगा. ठीक है जी. कहता उसके बाद क्या करेगा? अगले दिन जाके 20,000 रुपये का अपना सूट लेके आ जाएगा. तो मतलब लीडर बनने से द फर्स्ट थिंग दैट यू आर डूइंग इज यू आर इन्वेस्टिंग ऑन योर ओन अटायर. कपड़े बदलने से दोस्त आप लीडर नहीं बनते. कपड़े बदलने से आप लीडर नहीं बनते. एंड देन ही मेंशन्ड ओवर दैट, ही सेड द मोस्ट underrated trait is being human.
Yeah.
जैसे आपने कहा कि just because मेरे पास एक मनुष्य की बॉडी है, उसका शरीर है, that does not make me a human being.
Yeah. So in fact, it's a very right point, and this type of discussion I also have with number of people around me. So the first thing or the foremost thing I said, leader is one who lead self first. So it's not like that I'm going to lead you or you're going to lead me. If I'm able to lead myself, that itself is enough. So I need to know how to lead self, so how to become a human being. Human being is again with the, I'll go back to my first story. If you have character, if you have competence, then only you are a human being.
On page number 149, you have written on several occasions the lessons from Lord Krishna. You know, one of the things that I find quite fascinating is that Lord Krishna could stop the war. Could stop the war, right? अगर वो भगवान हैं, जो वो हैं, he could stop the war, and yet he did not stop the war. He chose not to stop the war. Why did he do that?
I guess this is the true leadership. So where you facilitate people around you, you coach them. Rather, I would say, although you are also in coaching industry or coaching business, sorry, I should not use this word. So you are into coaching, but he was the OG coach. So I'll give you 2-3 examples.
OG coach sounds good.
Yeah, OG coach, Bhagwan Shri Krishna, Lord Shri Krishna. So I'll give you 2-3 examples. When both Arjun and Duryodhana reached out to Krishna, please support. So he offered 2 things. One side is his army, other side is he himself. And he gave this choice to both Arjun and Krishna. Who would you choose? Arjun chose Krishna. And that made the entire difference. Whereas Duryodhana chose entire army, and the result is known to each one of us. Then the second example I would say that when this war was inevitable, again Krishna went to Duryodhana and the entire Kaurav clan and said कि नहीं लड़ेंगे, आप 5 गांव दे दो. They didn't agree to that also. Similarly, when Krishna was ruling Mathura, Jarasandha was attacking them again and again. And one point of time, Krishna realized, okay, लड़ने से कुछ फायदा नहीं होगा, दोनों तरफ से लोग मरते हैं, और मैं हारूंगा भी नहीं, ये जीतेगा नहीं, तो there is no end to of this fight. तो उन्होंने द्वारका establish कर दी. So this is the strategic leadership we applied. So the point I'm trying to make here is, Krishna was always offering help. He was guiding you, guiding us, guiding Arjun or guiding Duryodhan. ये कर लो, ये मत करो, ऐसे कर सकते हो. He was not taking decisions. So true leadership is about mentoring someone, coaching people around you, asking right questions, helping them up with the right options.
Come up with their own answers.
Yeah. So for example, I'll give you this example. You were my coach for almost 6-8 months. You never helped me with any sort of answers or solutions. You asked right questions. So this is true leadership. A leader is a mentor, is a coach.
Yeah. And this is so beautiful because it requires a lot of self-assurance not to take decision on somebody's behalf, and how you can facilitate that. How you can facilitate that.
So in fact, if you see that when you go up the ladder in corporate life, so you will have number of team members reporting to you. You cannot keep taking decision on behalf of each and everyone. You need to guide them. You need to upgrade them. You upskill them so that they are able to take right decisions. So just as a leader, you need to give right environment to your team.
So what, according to you, differentiates one leader from another? Is it कि एक जो पहला leader है वो he facilitates, she facilitates, and the other one takes decision on behalf of the team? Or is it unfair? Is it wrong to take decisions on behalf of the team at times?
No, it's not unfair. Decisions should be taken. Otherwise, if decisions are not taken, so basically again it going back to character and competence. Character is the way you conduct yourself, and unless and until results are there in corporate or professional world, you will not reach anywhere. So if I need to sell my product, I need to take certain decisions.
Precisely.
So that is utmost important. But the difference I see, that a true leader initially provide right environment, coach people, help them to take decision, and if a decision is not taken, then he or she should have that much courage or insight to take decision on behalf. I'll give you an example. Many a times it happens when, as a team lead, I facilitate team members to complete some certain task. Yeah, and if that task is not happening as per the timeline, as per the requisite requirement, what is my role? Then I need to lead from the front. If as my reportee or as my team member, you are not able to understand how to complete that, or you're not able to come up with the right solution, I can't keep telling you.
And that's when I need to step in.
I need to step in, because
And
there could
step
be,
up.
of course, and because there could be something new challenges over there.
जी हाँ.
तो अब टीम आपकी नहीं कर पा रही है, तो आपको करना पड़ेगा, करके दिखाओ ना, लीड फ्रॉम बाय एग्जांपल.
Manish, one thing that I've realized is that corporate में there is so much of dynamics in the organization. Office dynamics, जिसको हम politics भी कहते हैं. We are so busy in manipulating things. तो ये सब चीज़ें कहाँ से आती हैं? And was it present then as well? कि मतलब महाभारत में भी ऐसा होता था कि politics होती थी. Of course politics तो होती थी, manipulation होता था, काम ही नहीं करना चाहते थे.
Yeah, so of course, at that point of time also there was a lot of manipulation. If you go through the entire Mahabharata story, it's a story
All
of
manipulation.
politics only, whether it is Duryodhan,
Yeah.
whether it is the other people around. And hence the master yogi Krishna is there. He is tit for tat. He is simply purpose driven. So for ethical decision making, but of course purpose is there. So to attain your purpose, if you need to mold your certain rules and regulations, of course ethically, then you should do that. But coming back to your point, manipulation was there. So if you read one of the story over here is Baba Bharti story, wherein there is Baba Bharti. He has one horse with him. उनको बहुत प्यारा था, उसका नाम तूफान था. And then there is a Khadak Singh. Khadak Singh is local goon, and he heard about his horse, and one day he went to Baba Bharti and said कि मेरे को ये घोड़ा चाहिए, तुम तो संत आदमी हो, तुम्हारा क्या काम है इसका, चाहिए तो मेरे को. And Baba Bharti said नहीं, no, nothing doing, I'll not give it, this is like my son. He said लेके तो मैं जाऊँगा. So एक काफ़ी दिन बीते. बाबा भारती इज़ लाइक कि रोज़ चिंता करते हैं कि किसी ने आ ना जा लेने. ही नेवर टर्न अप. So one day Baba Bharti was going for a ride and he saw one person lying roadside. वो बीमार था, काफ़ी दुखी था. And this guy asked कि मतलब उसको बोला रुको. Baba Bharti stopped. He said कि मैं बहुत बीमार हूँ, I can't move, I can't run, I can't walk. मेरे को पास के मतलब अस्पताल तक छोड़ दो. And Baba Bharti was a kind person. So what he did, उन्होंने अपने उसको घोड़े पे हाथ से हेल्प देके बिठाया. The moment he mounted on the horse, he said हो गया भारती साहब.
तूफान साहब थे वो.
तो हाँ, वो खड़क सिंह जी थे. He said हो गया, go, अब मेरा हुआ घोड़ा. Now this is in my possession. And he was expecting कि बाबा भारती उससे विनती करेगा कि भैया मेरा घोड़ा वापस कर दो and so forth. But to all his surprise, what बाबा भारती said, खड़क सिंह ये बताना नहीं किसी को. तो बोला क्यों? He was surprised. He said लोग गरीबों पे विश्वास नहीं करेंगे. And then अच्छाई पे विश्वास नहीं करेंगे. किसी कोई दुखी होगा, कोई those who need help, nobody will help them. ये चीट कर रहा है. तो ये स्टोरी सुनाना मत. And Bhavarti went back. That statement stayed with खड़क सिंह. रात में आके वो घोड़ा वापस अस्तबल में बांध के चला गया. So the idea is a deceiver deceives himself.
Yeah. Since we are talking about alignment to purpose, alignment to principles. Yudhishthir as a character in Mahabharata was considered to be somebody who would be aligned to Dharma, no matter what. Kuch bhi ho jaye, he would stick to Dharma. He would be aligned to principles. And then in that reckless space that he was into, at one point in time, what happened on that gambling space that put his and his family's life on a very different trajectory.
It's a great example. So if you were to look at Yudhishthir, Yudhishthir is an epitome of righteousness. Yeah. He's an epitome of dharma, as you mentioned. But in few of the cases, what we seen that he's taken some emotional decision. Yeah. Could be ego came into play.
Some really reckless decisions,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So getting into that jua, where he lost his entire family along with his wife.
Complete kingdom. Yeah, and wife as well.
What was that? Yeah. So the way I see it, because generally what happens, you perceive people by their actions, yeah, not by their intent. So generally he was a righteous person. He was epitome of dharma, but there were certain decisions which were wrong. Yeah, one is this, where he kind of put entire family along with wife on the game of dice. Then the second thing I also noticed that when the Ashwatthama was killed, so Dronachar was quite sure nobody can kill Ashwatthama, and then he asked Yudhishthir. Yudhishthir said, Ashwatthama mar gaya. Ashwatthama maro na rova kunjaro. हाथी था या पुरुष था पता नहीं. एंड उसी वक्त श्री कृष्ण ने अपना शंख बजा दिया. तो इन ए वे उसने झूठ बोला, अर्ध सत्य. दैट वाज नॉट एक्सपेक्टेड फ्रॉम हिम. बट सिमिलरली मैं ऐसे भी देखता हूँ गौरव, he was a righteous person, so expectation from him was notch high.
Yeah.
बाकी सब तो कहीं थे ही नहीं उसके बराबर. फिर भी still we blame him for these 2-3 decisions, which were emotional decision.
Manish, we often talk about leadership. We often talk about leaders. Let me just flip the question. What makes a good follower? जब तक followers ही नहीं होंगे तो लीडर होके भी क्या करेंगे? तो आपके हिसाब से what makes a good follower?
So the way I see, because I'll go back to KGB, Karma, Gyan and Bhakti.
Yeah.
So when I talk about Bhakti, which is devotion, and this is the essence of Bhagavad Gita also. Bhagavad Gita is divided into 3 parts, Karma, Gyan and Bhakti. So Bhakti is all about devotion. So person should be, as a leader, as a person, as a human being, we should be devoted to a person. To a purpose, not persons. So what we need to do, if our purpose is clear in life, the only thing we need to do is to align with, collaborate with like-minded people. Yeah. So none of us need followers. What we need is to have purpose, and people around us, those who are seeking that purpose together. This is how I see it.
So more than the followers, what is more important is to have purpose.
Yeah.
And also people who are aligned with that.
Of course. You need, life is nothing without collaboration. So one leadership mantra I keep giving to everyone is compete with self and collaborate with all to get your purpose.
Yeah.
First is important piece is purpose, then your
Yeah.
collaboration and
Okay.
competition. There is a story about Sursa and Hanumanji. So while Hanumanji was going to Lanka to find out Mata Sita, all the demigods thought कि यार ये हनुमान जी जा तो रहे हैं, इनके अंदर शक्ति भी बहुत है, लेकिन does he have that sense to navigate through Ravan and all those? So let's challenge him, let's test him. So they asked Sursa कि go and check him कि इसको क्या आता है. So Sursa is a challenge. Yeah. तो सुरसा वहाँ मिलती है तो हनुमान जी को बोलती है कि अनलेस अनटिल आप मेरे मतलब यहाँ से कोई नदी से पार नहीं, समुद्र से पार नहीं जा सकता जब तक वो मैं उसको खा ना लूँ. एंड ही सेड कि देखो मेरे को काम है, मुझे मेरा पर्पस है, माता सीता का मुझे पता लगाना है, तो आप मुझे जाने दो, आई विल कम बैक, उसके बाद आप जो बोलोगे कर लेंगे. सुरसा पेड नो हीड. सो व्हाट अल्टीमेटली हनुमान जी डिड, वो उनके मुंह में घुस के बाहर आ गए. ये सेट हो गया तुम्हारा पर्पस पूरा, अब मेरे को जाने दो. सो 2 लेसन्स. वन इज योर पर्पस शुड ऑलवेज बी देयर इन योर माइंड. हनुमान जी का पर्पस सुरसा से लड़ना नहीं है, हनुमान जी का पर्पस सीता जी का पता लगाना है.
Beautiful.
ही वॉज क्लियर इन हिज माइंड. सेकेंडली, ऑल दोज चैलेंजेस यू फेस इन लाइफ, नॉट नेसेसरली वो आपके एनिमी है, हो सकता है वो आपको नेक्स्ट चैलेंज के लिए तैयार कर रहे हो.
So beautiful.
सुरसा हनुमान जी को चैलेंज तैयार कर रही है. थर्डली, ईगो इज़ योर एनिमी. अगर वो ईगो लगा के उससे लड़ रहे होते हनुमान जी
Then he
कभी
would
नहीं
have lost
पहुँचते.
it. हाँ.
तो अपना ईगो छोटा किया, अपना साइज छोटा किया, and then he went through.
Such
If you
a
look at this
beautiful
book,
lesson.
Yogi, I is in a small. So keep your eye down and keep your purpose clear. You will reach wherever you want to reach.
मेरी माँ मेरे को कहती थी यार बस तेरी अहम खत्म नहीं होती ना, तेरी मैं खत्म नहीं होती.
आई खत्म करना है, इसलिए मैंने योगी का आई छोटा रखा है.
Beautiful, thank you. Since you're talking about हनुमान जी, अगर आप हिंदुस्तान में अगर आप देखेंगे और वर्ल्ड वाइड इफ यू लुक एट, पीपल वर्शिप लॉर्ड रामा एंड पीपल वर्शिप लॉर्ड कृष्णा एज वेल. Very clearly you have created a distinction on page number 149
Yeah.
between leadership of Sri Rama and Sri Krishna. So first, help us understand what are the primary differences in these two leadership approaches, or आज की date में, considering the corporate world that we are a part of, which one would you recommend and why?
So I would say in both the cases, purpose is clear. Both are ethical. I cannot say Sri Krishna was not ethical. I'll put it in this fashion: to become Ram, you need to be Krishna first. Yeah.
Wow, okay. Why do you say
Because
so?
Ram is totally ethical. So he is like, आपको जो भी करना है करो, मैं वही करूँगा जो ठीक है. On the other hand, Krishna is like कि मेरा purpose ethical है, and if you are not ethical, I can bend rules in such a way that I reach to my purpose. So generally in corporate parlance, and this discussion I had number of times with number of people, so it's about bad politics, good politics. Generally politics को आज के डेट में लोग negative connotation में ही लेते हैं, but politics is not negative. It's itself is a simple word. It could be a negative politics. Negative politics is when it is done for your personal benefit.
For your personal benefit, okay?
Yeah. And positive politics is when you are doing for some purpose, which is your organization purpose in corporate parlance. So there are people who are negative in your life or in your surroundings. You need to neutralize them. Because those with the righteous mindset or right kind of ethics or competence, they can survive and thrive in the system. So you, as a leader, you need to make sure that these kind of people are under control, checked, and these people are thriving.
Beautiful.
So this is Krishna. And above all, when you drive all this thing, you have established Ram Raj, then you can be a Ram.
Wow. और आज की डेट में कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड में तो सिर्फ कृष्णा ही चलेंगे या राम भी चलेंगे?
हाँ, so again, it start with Krishna,
हाँ.
and when you reach at the top, you try and be Ram.
हाँ.
बहुत difficult journey है वो.
So let's take one step forward here.
Yeah.
In Mahabharata, one of the very important characters have been Karna. Karna is considered to be a masterful archer. In that game, there was a battle going on between his birth, where he took birth, and loyalty. And he chose loyalty over everything else.
So Karna is a fine example of misplaced loyalty. Yeah.
What do you mean by misplaced loyalty?
So I'll give you 2-3 examples from Karna's life. He was a very good archer. Rather, it is said that he was better than Arjun.
Yeah.
So when this fight between Arjun and Karna was happening, so after a fierce battle, Arjun won, Karna lost. He died. And Arjun smiled and told Krishna, look, I told you, I'm a better archer.
Yeah.
So Krishna smiled and said, didn't you notice, तुम्हारे साथ कौन था? तुम्हारा चैरिटियर मैं था, ऊपर हनुमान जी बैठे. उसके बाद उसने तुम्हारी ये हालत कर दी.
Yeah.
So who was better archer? But, and then the second piece, if you read last words of last slok of Bhagavad Gita, it says where there is Bhagavan Krishna and a supreme yogi, and where there is Arjun, a supreme archer, there will be opulence, there will be victory, there will be righteousness. So it's talking about both character and competence. So whether you are on the side of righteousness or not, that decides your fate. Karna was a supreme archer, but his loyalty was misplaced. His purpose was wrong. Whereas Arjun was a supreme archer, equally good archer, but he was connected with the righteousness.
Yeah.
He had
Supported by the right
supported
people.
by Shri Krishna himself,
Yeah.
who is the epitome of righteousness. So again, going back to my first story, it's all about character and competence.
You know, you being a chartered accountant, on several occasions you have spoken about the balance sheet of life. What does that mean? What are the assets? What are the liabilities? What are the investments?
Two years back, I wrote about this. And I was wondering one day, because I was in a role where I had to finalize financials and get it signed, approved by statutory auditor and all. So one fine day I was just thinking, we finance professional, or not only finance professional, business professional also. We keep looking at our P&L balance sheet. But now we life की balance sheet कब बनाएंगे? And then this idea came in my mind. So I had this liability side and asset side. So my family, my health is my fixed asset. Yeah. Then your debtors are the people to whom you have done good with. Those are your debtors. Similarly, if somebody has done something wrong to you, that is also your debtor. Yeah. So the way in Indian philosophy, I think that if something wrong has been done to me, either I paid off my liability or I've created an asset. Yeah.
Okay.
So either way, it is good.
Either way, it's good. Yeah.
Either way, it is good. Similarly, your asset on the liability side, your capital is your life. Your life itself is a capital. Yeah. And liabilities. So if you have done something wrong to someone, you will have to pay back.
Yeah.
Or somebody else has done something good to you, that is again your liability. You will have to pay back. So it's all about asset and liability of life. And then of course your material world is your current asset. But your fixed assets is your relationship, your family, your health.
Yeah.
And when I'm talking about health, that is both emotional, mental, spiritual,
Physical
and physical. Yeah. All four type of healths. Yeah.
Manish, हम नवरात्रि क्यों बनाते हैं? What is the significance of Navratri?
So, Navratri is about Ma Durga. So, 9 roop of Ma Durga. So, it's about victory of evil, or victory of right over evil. Why do we celebrate?
Yeah.
So, this is the beauty of India. Yeah. So we all are a human being. Rather, it is also said, man is a social animal. Yeah. Human is a social animal. Yeah. So what we need is mental, emotional health. So how do you get your mental, emotional health? By getting associated with people.
Yeah. And social connection.
And social
play a very
social
vital
connection. Role. So all these festivals. If recently we had Holi. So what we did in Holi, we were not sitting in the office or home lonely. We went out, met a lot of people, लोगों को रंग लगाया, गुब्बारे फेंके, and so on and so forth. And a lot of connection. Then we had lunch together. A lot of celebration all around. So what it does, it boosts you as mentally, emotionally, and some spiritually also.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Similarly, other festivals. And then the best part is economic activities. Very recently, this Mahakumbh happened. I guess 65 crore people attended Mahakumbh.
Yeah.
And the kind of revenue it generated.
Wow.
So if you're getting mental well-being, emotional well-being, you're getting happiness, you're getting socially connected. Your economy is also getting increased or booming because of this. So why not celebrate?
Okay, so that means we should celebrate life.
Yes, life is all about celebration.
Life is all about celebration.
And today we are also celebrating something.
Yes, of course. We are
our relationship we are celebrating.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Manish, for sharing your wisdom, for sharing all your experiences. And as I mentioned, ladies and gentlemen, in case you loved this conversation, I'm sure that you did. Do share it with someone you believe would get benefited from this conversation.